and there was a reason why I took off also during that period. One was because I didn't want to subject myself to waiting for a film. I didn't want to go back to a corporate career. So I want to do something which, and I parallel to environment law cheyidu. I was working for a non-profit and I wanted to understand that industry better. That was the reason I went to study. I got admission. I wrote my GRE, I got my scholarships, and then all that same process which every student goes through. And fortunately, Jasmine also happened. A lot of things have happened in my life, but the reason I also wanted to stay off during that period, a lot of scripts coming because there's so many films which are being made. പക്ഷെ പ്രത്യേകമായിട്ട് പെൺകുട്ടികളുടെ ക്യാരക്ടർ നോക്കിയാൽ ഇറ്റ്സ് ജസ്റ്റ് ടു ടൈപ്സ്. either you're a mother who's crying or you're a girl who's wearing pants and adichu polichittu, I mean every day that will come, or then they'll say it's a female oriented film. എനിക്ക് അങ്ങനെ പോലെ സിനിമകൾ ചെയ്യാൻ ഇനി താല്പര്യമില്ല. I like doing commercial masala films. I would still like doing that. പക്ഷെ എനിക്ക് ഇഷ്ടം I really wish that there is a film where characters like Rahil, I'm not saying necessarily Rahil, it could be a very simple character. I am not like Rahil at all. I'm a very straight. എനിക്ക് Rahil ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ അയാളെ കൊന്നപ്പോൾ എൻ്റെ ഹസ്ബൻഡ് കൊന്നപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ വിചാരിച്ചു what the hell am I doing? How can I do this? I was thinking this when I was killing him, right, on the shot. And I'm not that kind of a person at all. So there's no story which is made on people, generation of my girls. We go through so much and we're experimenting. My generation of girls are experimenting with life so much. There's so much of stories to say. So I really wish that Malayalam filmmakers, Tamil loke cheyyunundu, Tamilum, Hindiyum, Marathi loke, they are starting to look at women differently. And that is because in daily life, women are very different. Ningalde ippo real life, ippo ningal 5 varsham munpu nokke jeevithathilum, ippo ningal interact cheyyuna women characters, daily life unde women characters bayangara vyathyasamaanu. I feel film is a reflection of real life. I wish there's a more true reflection by filmmakers of our daily lives and our struggles and our experiences. And instead of making it as a post-30s actress or a post-20 actress, to make it as a character film, like Queen for example. Many people may like it, may not like it, but still it's a very, very typical character which has its own aspirations and story to talk about. Angane അത് എല്ലാവർക്കും റിലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന സംഭവമായിരുന്നു. നോട്ട് ജസ്റ്റ് എ പേഴ്സൺ ഫ്രം കേരള ബട്ട് ഫ്രം ഡൽഹി ഓർ ബോംബെ. സോ there are a lot of these kind of stories which are common to all of us. I wish more of these stories come out, and I don't know what the new generation cinema has accomplished with respect to female characters. They have only actually ഞാൻ സിനിമയിൽ വന്നപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് കിട്ടിയ female characters were far better than what I'm getting now, which is unfortunate, and I don't see any of the other girls also doing great work. So it's unfortunate for us because I think actresses in my industry are pretty good. Avarku ningal challenge tannal maatrame avaru endengilum cheyan pattum. So it's a function of what the filmmakers do also. No, I think moral subjugation is a very important issue. It needs to be addressed. I was addressing this in another interview today, and so for instance, I and Jasmine met in New York. I am not a person who believes in public display of affection, but we met in a city like New York, which is very open. അവിടെ സ്നേഹം, നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ആരെങ്കിലും സ്നേഹം തോന്നിയാൽ നിങ്ങൾ സ്നേഹം കാണിക്കാം. അതിന് മറ്റാൾക്കാർ അതിന് കുറ്റം പറഞ്ഞിട്ടോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അതിനെ നോക്കിയിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് കാര്യമില്ല. So I'm not invading their privacy. So I and Jasmine have had a lot of fun in New York. We had a lot of freedom to, both physically, mentally. It kind of gives you a lot of emotional happiness when you can just hold somebody's hand and not be judged by somebody. It gives you a lot of emotional and intellectual freedom. So it is a very important aspect, and it's not right to dilute it. പക്ഷേ അതേപോലെ when I am in front of my parents, I don't think they'll be comfortable with public display of affection. And me to respect that is also important as my generation. And I and Jasmine respect that. So, and they also understand it, and they also respect that we need to express our affection to each other. So, നമ്മൾ രണ്ടുപേരും we negotiate our space and come at some common middle point. So, I think experiments like this of love are important because it's very important that when you have a physical freedom, when there's not so much importance on who you are physically and what you do with your body becomes secondary, then automatically your focus goes on more important things. right? And which is normally emotional or intellectual. So I think it's a very good experiment, provided it does not become like you are invading my space. Because when you are doing public display of affection, you are invading somebody else's space. That generation is probably not used to seeing this. So as long as that you, my space, that fight is not there, and both of you negotiate, then it becomes an interesting space. And that is very important, because it's not like old or young. We've all got something to learn from each other, irrespective of our age, caste, community, religion. And namala angane or a situation in automatically we'll be able to negotiate our space. But I definitely feel that things like this need to come out, because our society is very narrow-minded on some very, very stupid things. And the more you confront it, more you confront your inhibitions, you will come up with solutions. You'll realize it's not so important to you. And when you realize that kiss of love is not so important to you, you will not give it so much importance. And then everybody will be more freer. It will be a better society. So I think it's important to have that. But I agree that Malayalam cinema has somehow focused on women and the modern age woman as somebody whose focuses more on the sexual aspect or the physical aspect. And honestly, I don't think about my body so much. As a modern woman, my body is important to me, but it's definitely not the most important thing of my life. And in the friend circle, we all are very conscious about, being presentable, wearing good clothes and hanging out and all that, but our lives is far more important than having a good husband, a good bedroom life, or just having a good body. I think our lives is far more than that. If there's some very awesome film, I may produce it someday. I think I'll be a very good producer. Both as an audience and as a filmmaker. So I can be a good producer. Direction cheyan pattilla. Adonde adokku ningalude kayile vittola.